The afternoon sun hung low over Maple Street, casting long shadows across the sidewalks. Tommy Richards stood at the corner, his small backpack hanging from one shoulder, a folded permission slip clutched in his hand. He was 8 years old, with brown hair that stuck up in the back no matter how much his mother tried to smooth it down. His teacher, Mrs. Peterson, had given him the slip that morning. It needed a parent's signature by tomorrow. Tommy's mother worked the evening shift at the hospital, and his father had moved away 2 years ago. Usually, his mother would be home by now, but today she had to stay late. She had left him with Mrs. Chen next door, but Mrs. Chen didn't speak much English, and Tommy felt shy about asking her to sign the paper. He remembered his mother mentioning a friend who lived on Maple Street. A woman named Sarah. She had said Sarah lived in the blue house with white shutters. Tommy had nodded, not really paying attention at the time. But now, standing on the corner, he thought maybe this Sarah person could help. His mother had said she was kind. She had said Sarah understood about things being difficult sometimes. Tommy walked slowly down Maple Street, looking at each house. There were several blue houses, and many of them had white shutters. He stopped in front of number 42. The paint was faded but neat. White shutters framed the windows. A small garden grew wild along the front path, with flowers he couldn't name pushing up through the weeds. This had to be the right house. He walked up the 3 steps to the porch. The wood creaked under his feet. He raised his hand and knocked on the door, 3 soft taps that seemed too quiet in the stillness of the street. Footsteps sounded inside. The door opened, and a man stood there. He was tall, with gray hair and deep lines around his eyes. He wore a cardigan sweater with patches on the elbows and held a book in one hand, his finger marking his place. Tommy's stomach sank. This wasn't Sarah. The man looked down at him with surprise. "Hello there," he said. His voice was gentle, curious. "I'm sorry," Tommy said quickly. "I was looking for Sarah." The man's expression shifted, something sad and distant passing across his face. "Sarah," he repeated quietly. He was silent for a moment, then seemed to make a decision. "Sarah was my wife. She passed away last spring." Tommy felt his face grow hot. "I'm really sorry," he whispered. He took a step backward, ready to leave. "Wait," the man said. "You're soaking wet." Tommy looked down. He hadn't even noticed, but his shoes were soaked through. There must have been a sprinkler running somewhere, or maybe he had stepped in a puddle. His socks squelched inside his sneakers. "Come in for a minute," the man said. "Let's get you dried off." "What's your name?" "Tommy. Tommy Richards." "I'm Arthur Green," the man said, stepping aside. "Your mother is Beth, isn't she? Sarah used to talk about her. They worked together at the hospital, years ago." Tommy nodded, stepping carefully into the hallway. The house smelled like old books and tea. Photographs lined the walls, mostly of a woman with kind eyes and a bright smile. Sarah, Tommy thought. She looked like someone who would have been nice. Arthur led him to the kitchen and pulled out a chair. "Sit down. I'll get a towel." Tommy sat, placing his backpack on the floor and the permission slip on the table. He looked around the kitchen. It was clean but cluttered, with stacks of mail on the counter and dishes in the sink. A calendar hung on the wall, still turned to April. 5 months ago. Arthur returned with a towel and knelt down, helping Tommy pull off his wet shoes. "These need to dry out," he said. "I'll put them by the heater." "Thank you," Tommy said. Arthur stood and filled a kettle with water, setting it on the stove. "Would you like some hot chocolate? It's the instant kind, but it's not bad." "Okay," Tommy said. They sat in silence while the water heated. Arthur glanced at the permission slip on the table. "School form?" he asked. Tommy nodded. "I need my mom to sign it, but she's working late. I thought maybe Sarah could help, but I guess I got the wrong house." Arthur picked up the slip and read it. "A field trip to the Science Museum. Your mother won't be home until late." "Not until 9, Tommy said. The kettle whistled. Arthur made 2 cups of hot chocolate, setting one in front of Tommy. The warmth felt good in Tommy's hands. "You know," Arthur said slowly, "Sarah always said I should be more involved with people. After she got sick, I stopped going out much. Stopped seeing friends. She told me that was no way to live." He took a sip of his drink. "I think she would have wanted me to help you." Tommy looked up at him. "I can't sign your permission slip," Arthur continued. "But I can call your mother at work. We can explain the situation." And you can wait here until she gets home, if you'd like. It's better than being alone. You don't have to do that, Tommy said quietly. I know, Arthur said. But maybe I want to. He stood and picked up the phone, dialing the hospital. Tommy listened as Arthur explained who he was, asked for Beth Richards, and then waited. When she came on the line, Arthur's voice was warm. Beth, it's Arthur Green. Sarah's husband. Yes, it's been too long. Listen, your son Tommy is here. He's fine, just has a permission slip that needs signing. I thought I'd call you first. There was a pause, then Arthur smiled. No trouble at all. We're having hot chocolate. You can pick him up after your shift, or I can walk him home. Whichever you prefer. When he hung up, Arthur sat back down. Your mother will call the school in the morning. And she says thank you. Tommy felt something tight in his chest loosen. Thank you, he said. They sat together as the evening deepened outside. Arthur asked about school, about Tommy's favorite subjects. Tommy asked about the photographs on the walls, and Arthur told him stories about Sarah. How she loved to garden. How she could never remember where she'd put her reading glasses. How she had made this same kitchen feel full of life. When Tommy's mother arrived at 9:30, her eyes were tired but grateful. She hugged Arthur for a long moment. I'm so sorry about Sarah, she said. I should have come by. We all get busy, Arthur said. But maybe don't be a stranger. As Tommy and his mother walked home, Tommy looked back at the blue house with white shutters. Through the window, he could see Arthur standing in the kitchen, washing their cups. He didn't look quite so alone anymore. I knocked on the wrong door, Tommy said. His mother squeezed his hand. Maybe it was exactly the right door, she said. And somehow, Tommy thought she might be right.